but there were times I had to get him man-to-man. And
favorite team that you guys love to face in your division?
Yours.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
it's like the game like we play against the Raiders, you might get 3 sacks when they had Jamarcus Russell, which I did. So I got 3 sacks on them in the first half, right?
Yeah.
And I'm ready, and they take Tommy Maddox.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to West War Room Rivals, the final pregame show of season 1 of the season. We are going to be previewing Super Bowl 60 with the AFC representative of the Patriots and the NFC of the Seahawks. Fellas, we've been talking about this on our TikTok lives all week. How we feeling today being the last game of this season?
Boo.
It's
we were just that close to having the Broncos, so it's like I'd much rather be obnoxious today than being humble and talking Patriots Seahawks.
For all of you that sat out there, it's the first time in almost 1,400 days that the Chiefs aren't in the Super Bowl.
That's probably why this one is going to be so much better than previous years, other than last year. Last year was pretty good.
Last year was pretty good.
Oh, okay.
I like last year's.
Yeah, last year was about as good as it gets for Super Bowls.
I do enjoy Caleb not mentioning anything since they've never been to one.
I have no dog in this race, so I'm staying out of it.
But with that being said, I'm still really excited for this game, just based on matchups and who's in the game. So yeah, right. I'm still ready for this.
Oh yeah.
This is actually a pretty good matchup, all things considered, for what we could have had. I know it'd have been nice to have the Broncos to represent the AFC West, but we have something better. We have the NFC West, so that way none of us have a rival that's in the big game. So before we get started, though, we've got to get some sponsor shout outs. First off, Vidite Coffee. Go to viditecoffee.com today to get your
really needs that today.
Yeah.
Need some after emo night last night with some friends. And then also Rival Codes. Visit rivalcodes.com. Use Rivals10. As you can see, Matt right there with the merch. It is not just apparel, it's territory. That's a great shirt too, Corey.
I'm gonna get one for my MILF report.
There we go. Also, shout out to Field Ops Kansas and also Emporia State Federal Credit Union, and of course the JBW Solutions LLC. Jeff and the crew representing the War Room and also being the studio for the War Room. Shout out to those guys. I know on the ticker it says icebreaker. Corey, you didn't put the notes in there, but I wanted to kick off our icebreaker being the question that I had asked.
It's right there.
Here. I put it in the notes.
Where do you? Oh, I'm so sorry. You're right.
Remember, Cody had an emo night. It's okay.
Okay. I have two.
Well,
I have 2 icebreakers.
We can still do both.
I have 2. So, okay, fine. We'll do yours. And then I have another one. And I kind of want to do it in the same vein that we did when we had Alex on, who was the Chargers rep that we had earlier this week. So we're going to go with who will win the coin toss. Caleb, I'll let you answer first.
I'll go Patriots.
Patriots win the coin toss. Okay. Matt?
Seahawks.
Okay. Corey?
I'm going to go Patriots.
Patriots. Austin?
Seahawks.
I'm going to go Seahawks win the coin toss. This is actually going to be fun. There's a lot of parlays that usually happen on what it's going to be heads or tails. So a lot of bets are going to be made and a lot of money is going to be lost on this 50-50 shot. So next icebreaker is going to be, what does being a fan mean to you? I asked this with Alex, who was the Chargers fan. So briefly, I want you guys to tell us what your fandom is. So Corey, I'm going to let you start first. What does your fandom with the Broncos mean to you?
A lot more than it did 5 years ago. I can tell you that. So, and I think us having this show also helps cater that a little more, because I'll be honest, I've been pretty open with people that I'm much more of a college football fan, just based on the level of competition in college football. But, with the Broncos kind of going back and forth with what they've been doing over the last few years, is kind of giving me that joy back. And we have a quarterback now that I'm excited about. So, yeah, man, being a Broncos fan is a lot better now than it was.
Okay. Austin, what about being a fan of the Chiefs? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, not a whole lot. No, I'm joking. It's actually kind of fun because I'm unbothered. And, with the last decade of success, people always try to get under the old skin, and it ends up bothering them more than it bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Chiefs football. I mean, we've had Coach Dick Vermeil on, so we've kind of been able to see kind of full circle where my Chiefs fandom kind of started and what it went through. We had DJ on the show last week. Kind of got to see where my favorite players and stuff are. But, Chiefs, yes, I don't really like the product of the NFL as much as I used to back in the old days. But, watching Chiefs game day, it's still pretty enjoyable, still something to look forward to. Way back in the day when, Chiefs player's father saved my life. So that's kind of how the fandom even started. So there's always just that little extra like fandom in me that like it's a little bit more than sports. So yeah, no, love Chiefs football. Even after down years, down teams, bad players, I do still enjoy the Chiefs.
I need to get the energy level up in here. You guys sound like your cat just did something. Like,
dude, I was hyped.
Matt, what is that?
We got Matt, Caleb, and Cody here.
There we go. Matt, what does your fandom mean to you for being a Broncos fan?
Well, again, like that flag says back there, united in orange, right? Like being a Broncos fan, how united we are and like close knit. Like we are a very welcoming fan base, and I love that. I love that about being a Broncos fan. And it's nice to sit on the couch and like actually like, hey, we have a shot to win this game, and actually say it with a straight face because we have a shot to win the damn game. I'm loving it. I'm excited, and not just united in orange, but united in all fan bases. It's awesome. I love the fandom. I if I could see colors, I'd probably bleed orange and blue, but I see all 50 shades of gray, and yeah, man, it's awesome.
All right, Caleb, what about you?
That was a 6. We need more.
Golly,
so, dude, it means yeah, golly. So it means a ton to me, man. Really. Like that's something that's always been there my whole life. That's just being a fan of it. It means so much. Like I know that's very corny and kind of cliche. It's basic, but it means a lot to me, man. It really does. I wake up every Sunday or whatever game day it is, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's game day, man. Game day. No matter what, even when we're terrible, I still do it. I guess to me, what it means is being authentically myself, being authentically a fan of, my team, no matter what other people, what other people think, nothing like that. No matter how bad the team is, I'm still a fan. So I don't know. That's what it means to me, man. It means a lot.
I appreciate that answer. So obviously for me, my team has had the worst season this year in a long time. So being a fan means that, in a long time, being a fan means that you are constantly overcoming adversity, persevering, and testing your loyalty. And honestly, I think being a fan teaches you a lot about life sometimes where it may not go your way. You root for something, or, some teams like the Broncos here or the Chiefs, you go through some time in obscurity, you hang in there, and then you see it pay off kind of towards the end. So being a fan also has a lot of great memories, and being a fan of the Raiders, even though they're not successful, has led me to being on the screen with these guys that work their ass off for this show, which has been really fun in season 1. Caleb, I know that we signed you as a free agent, halfway through the season to get us to the Super Bowl. But that's what being a fan has done for me, and all the memories that I've shared with friends or family, and being able to have this show with you guys, and we get to preview the Super Bowl show. So next year, fingers crossed, season 2, the theme of it is be a fan. We want you guys to be a fan, and we want you guys to represent your fandom, good, bad, indifferent, whatever it may be. We want you guys to be a fan of your team. So
Cody, I do have one question.
Yep.
And this is directed towards your fandom.
Okay.
I want to know exactly what your shirt means. Raiders just do it. What is it that they do?
They just do it. They either suck or they're really good. So there's no in between.
Okay. I was just curious, like their shirts that they just do it. Like, what are they doing? Like losing, nothing correct.
Yes.
They're doing it. They're just doing it.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
Big clown fans. Got it.
Your imagination run wild.
Yeah, and they're doing it. All right, guys, let's move on to business. Let's get to the Super Bowl preview show. So obviously the Patriots coming in here. Caleb, your first episode, you kind of called out the Patriots for being a soft team that got an easy schedule, and here they are in the Super Bowl. And Austin earlier this season had said, watch out for that Seahawks defense, and here they are. They've pretty much gotten them here to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to kick it off with Corey. I want you to give me the X factors to the Super Bowl for today's game.
Yeah, so obviously I'm going to have the quarterbacks here. Obviously, a big stage for both quarterbacks, second-year quarterback. And then obviously everybody knows Sam Darnold's kind of story here. So again, it's going to come down to which quarterback can take care of the football, make the right reads, make the smart plays, when to throw the football away, when to run. So, and then just if you want the overall biggest X factor, it's Rashid Shaheed, in my opinion. I absolutely love this dude and what he can do in the return game. So, and he's on my wish list for the Broncos next season. So hopefully future Bronco Rashid Shaheed has a day.
All right. Caleb, what are your X factors for this game?
Yeah, so my X factors really, I guess I'll go Patriots side of the ball. I think it's Drake May, man. I think Drake May and Milton Williams, they really have to dictate this game. And it's got to be from the first few plays of the game, really. As soon as they step on that field, they have to take over. Drake May, I want to see him really attack downfield. We haven't seen it much in the playoffs, which they've played really, really good defenses so far. Playing the Chargers with the 5th ranked defense, and then Texans with the 1st ranked, and Broncos with the 2nd ranked defense. So they've played some really tough defenses. So I want to see how they approach that against another really tough matchup for them. So I'm excited for that. And then defensively, again, Milton Williams, he's got to get pressure on Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's looked really comfortable, in my opinion, in the past few weeks, and they've really got to put some pressure on him. So I like Milton Williams as my defensive X factor for the Patriots.
All right. Matt, who are your X factors for this game?
For me, it's going to be Christian Gonzalez. Can you contain the offensive player of the year in JSN? It's going to be a tough matchup. That battle is going to be fun to watch, and I'm kind of alluding to my MILF report a little bit later. But, yeah, can you take away Sam Darnold's, his favorite target, one of his best weapons? Can you take him away? So Christian Gonzalez is going to be my X factor for today.
Austin, what are your X factors for this game?
Yeah, and I think it's going to end up being the same for both teams. I think it's in the trenches. Both of these teams have very strong and good defensive lines. Even though Caleb didn't agree with that going into the Chargers-Patriots matchup. He's like, this is the worst D-line in football.
No.
It's the worst matchup. I know. You said it was, you thought it was the easiest defensive line matchup to go against. I know. But no, both teams are really good on the defensive front, right? And both offensive lines are shaky at times. So it's really going to come down who can block better, and then who can get after the quarterbacks better. Because I do think that sets the tone for this entire game. Which quarterback is uncomfortable sooner, and which uncomfortable quarterback is the most uncomfortable the longest. That sets everything up. So I think no shock, starts in the trenches.
Austin, I feel like you stole a little bit of my thunder, because honestly, that was where I was heading. The New England Patriots have allowed Drake May to be sacked 15 times, which leads this postseason by almost 3 times the next person. I think Stafford is at 6, if I'm not mistaken. So Drake May has doubled in almost 3 times that. And so I think that's what I'm looking for with this Patriots offensive line. Can they withstand the pass rush of the Seahawks? Now, granted, the Seahawks in this postseason, their pass rush is slowed down a little bit. They don't have nearly as many sacks, but they were 7th in total sacks for the regular season in all of the NFL, whereas the Patriots were in the bottom. I think they were ranked 22nd. So Seahawks, if their defense can get after it, which we know they can create turnovers and give extra opportunities over to that offense, I feel like those are some huge keys to victory. So can that Patriots offensive line withstand it? But can the Seahawks steal extra possessions for the Seahawks? Because we know that New England loves to go old school football and pound the rock, and they're going to use their dual running backs. And unfortunately, there's no Charbonnet for the Seahawks. So, if you're going to rely on Kenneth Walker the third all game as an every down back, it's probably a tougher order than what the Patriots have, where they've got a dynamic duo that can just rotate in and out. So very much like what you said, Austin, it depends on what happens in the trenches and what offensive line protects, what defensive line can break through, and all the other stuff in between. So let's go now to a couple of other things I want to just point out. And again, this graphic was made by Matt here. I just want to show how misleading this is, where you see the Seahawks with this offensive juggernaut, but then you look at the Patriots and it's like, man, only averaging 18 points per game this postseason. But I think a couple of things to point out is they had to go through teams like the Chargers with a bad offensive line. No offense, Caleb, but only had to score 16 points to win that game. The Texans were probably their biggest challenge. Or no, they didn't have to. Did they play the Texans?
Yes.
They played the Texans, right?
Did.
Okay.
That's when CJ Stroud was embarrassing.
Right. And that defense had two, defensive touchdowns to really break open that game. And of course, the Denver game, and I'm not trying to pour salt in the wound, but only had 10 points because it was a blizzard, essentially, majority of that game. And then you look at the Seahawks, they've gone against the Niners and the Rams, again, all in their division, and they've had to explode offensively. And so I'm curious if the Patriots defense can withstand this high-powered offense that we're seeing representing right now in terms of stats. So, Matt, I'm curious, do you think this defense will able to suffocate the Seahawks offense?
Yeah, again, I think they're very underrated. I think this is a very underrated defense. Their pass rush is actually very good. They were good all regular season, and there's no reason for me to believe that they're, today's the day where they just don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing to note about the Seahawks is they are very turnover prone. They are 31st in the league with giveaways. They have 28 under their belt, and that's fumbles, that's interceptions. Yeah, they've done a good job protecting Sam Darnold. He's only been sacked 15 times throughout the regular season, I believe. And throughout the postseason, he's done a good job of taking care of the ball. The Seahawks are the only team in the postseason that didn't have a turnover, or excuse me, a giveaway. So, yeah, I think if the Patriots can get home to Darnold, Darnold will revert back to New York Jets Darnold, and he will turn that ball over. So it's just, and I do think the Patriots are going to create that pressure and be disruptive.
Corey, do you think that this Patriots defense is able to blanket the Seahawks, or do you think the Seahawks are just going to run wild on that defense?
Well, I'm not going to say they're going to run wild, but I mean, they're averaging 36 points a game for a reason, right? And again, this is still a high-powered offense, no matter how you look at it, and that's no shot at what the Patriots do defensively. But I mean, the Seattle Seahawks are going to be able to get theirs. I mean, it's just one of those where, can you get a stop here and there when you need it? Like, if you really, really need that momentum swing, can your defense do it? And I think they do have playmakers in the backside of that defense that could do it. But I don't. There's no way that they're going to be able just to blanket what the Seahawks have to do. But they have pieces to slow it down a little bit.
Okay, let's move on over to Austin and Matt's special teams report now. Austin, what team do you see has the special teams advantage for this game?
Man, and I don't know if Matt's going to end up agreeing with this or not, but I think the margins of special teams between these two are so slim. Like, these are two really good special teams units, and to me, I give a slight advantage to the Seahawks for one reason. I trust Jason Myers over the rookie kicker that the Patriots have. So I'm going all special teams, not just return game here. So I trust the veteran kicker over the rookie kicker. And Michael Dixon is has been one of the best punters, and that punt return unit has been one of the better ones in football for a while now. I do think both return games are equal. I mean, between Jones and Henderson, and then Rashid Shaheed for the Seahawks, like, all of them are capable of taking a house anytime. Doesn't matter how good the other unit is. So from a return game aspect, they are dead even, but I give the slight kicking advantage to the Seahawks. So for me, I got to go special teams advantage with the Seahawks a little bit.
Oh, man, I've been going back and forth on it because both these special teams, they are evenly matched. Like, it's you could take the names off of, like, the Seahawks and the Patriots and say, here's special team stats, who belongs to who, and I couldn't tell the difference because they're so evenly matched. You look at the Patriots, and they're the third best kick and punt return covering team, and the Seahawks are the fourth in kick and punt return average. So, I mean, like, this is going to be, like he said, it's such a slim margin. But if I have to come down to it, yeah, I got to give the edge to the Seahawks as well, because, like he said, the Seahawks kicker, he was the league's leading kicker today, most made field goals, and that is going to affect the game. Those field goals, they do matter. So I got to give the edge to the Seahawks.
I will say, too, it's a beautiful day in Santa Clara right now where they're playing at Levi Stadium. I think it's going to be like mid-60s by the time kickoff happens. It's almost going to be absolutely perfect football weather. So I feel like, to credit both Austin and Matt, of which special teams team could make the least amount of mistakes, and especially the return game. I mean, Shaheed has already taken, I think, 1 or 2 kickoffs back right now for a touchdown. One of them notably against the Niners that kind of blew that game open. I mean, obviously it was a blowout, but really that kind of sparked that momentum shift over there. So curious to see if both special teams can either defend really well or if one's going to break away, and that'll be the difference. Because as we all know, Matt and Austin have made it a very clear point to say that football is won in 3 phases of the game. I do want to get your guys' quick answer on this. I just saw, because I'm watching the pregame show right now for NBC, that there's going to be discussion at the competition committee for removing the onside kick and changing it to a 4th and 13 play. I don't know the specifics outside of like where the ball will be placed, but that's just kind of, the idea. So Matt, I want to ask you first, do you think that's a good idea, or should they leave the onside kick?
Leave the onside kick, man. I'm tired of them changing. Like, they've already changed the special team rules enough. Like, I think they changed it last year. They changed it the year before that. Just stop. Like, let's work with what we got. And if we need to adjust and tweak and peak, fine, go for it. But like, that's just a dumb idea. Like, this is the NFL. This isn't college. I get the concept behind it. Like 4th and 13, in college, like, when you go to overtime, you start in the red zone, something like that. But it's annoying. Just like it's the NFL. Let's be the NFL. Onside kicks are a thing. Keep the onside kicks.
All right, Austin, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I go back and forth on it. I'm kind of with Matt to where quit changing things, but if they're not willing to like change the onside kick a little bit, then I can see, this change, because like onside kicks are so rare to like recover. Like, honestly, there's not a way to recover it unless the receiving team literally screws it up. So like, it is very one-sided, and I know it's not supposed to be something that's easy, but with how small the percentages are on them being successful, I kind of understand the 4th and long. And, in the end, that is going to be more exciting than watching something that has like a 2% success rate. But I am also with I don't like massive changes like this. Like, you didn't even try to adjust the onside thing at all outside of announcing it.
Right.
What, instead of 10 yards, they go 13 yards. See if that actually gives the kicking team a chance. Like, they made no attempts at actually adjusting the actual play. And they're just scrapping it for a 4th and 13, which it seems odd. So I go both ways. I wish an attempt to like adjust the onside kick would have been made instead of just ditching it with no attempts at something better.
Yeah, Corey, before you answer, I'm curious, because an addition rule that they added to the onside kick, in addition to all the changes that they did, is you had to announce that you were doing an onside kick. You couldn't do a surprise. And of course, Sean Payton noticeably did a surprise onside kick in the Super Bowl that got everyone's feathers ruffled, and that's probably why they've said you got to declare it rather than it being a surprise to everybody. So what are your thoughts on them essentially getting rid of the onside kick and bringing in a 4th and long situation to get the ball back?
Yeah, I mean, if they took away the rule where you have to announce, I'd keep that one. But if they're not, then yeah, give me the 4th down all day, every day. Like, I don't want to keep seeing onside kicks that teams know it's coming. So it kind of defeats the whole purpose of that. So if you know it's coming, you have a better chance of having it prepared, which again, still very, very slim chance you get it. I don't know about 4th and 13 though. Like, maybe make it like a 4th and 20 or 4th and 15, something similar to that. But yeah, I'm all for giving up with the onside kick unless they're going to let it just be one of those non-surprise ones. But if they're going to do that, then they have to do the whole re-kick format, because the teams are going to be obviously lined up down the field. So a lot of things for them to work on for it. But yeah, I'm here for the 4th down.
All right, Caleb, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of along the same lines as Corey, man. I think the way they changed it the first time, it kind of put the onside kick in a really bad situation, in my opinion. If you have to announce it, that defeats the purpose of doing it. And it's so stupid to me that they did it the way they did it and didn't really think about the onside kick situation as much as they did. I will agree with Matt and Austin. I hate that they keep changing the kicking rules. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think they need to pick something and kind of stick with it at some point. But if you do have to announce it, I kind of like the 4th and 13 or 4th and 20, whatever they decide to do. But yeah, I would prefer them not to change it again, but if they do, I'm good with the 4th and 13, I guess.
Yeah. Austin, I'll let you follow up after this in just a second. But what I was thinking is I'm actually kind of getting on board with as they adapt when they move the extra point back to make it 33 yards instead of just a 2-yarder, it made it a little bit more competitive. You know, it puts a little bit more pressure on a kick that has to be made. Even with the landing zone, I know that there's a lot of confusion with it. And we're seeing now, like, we're making it a point that the Super Bowl is probably going to be decided on special teams, as what we were just talking about. I would say, like, I want to keep the onside kick in the game of football. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting. I agree with Corey. I don't like that you have to announce it. It takes all the surprise out of it. But I would say if you're going to announce it, I'm doing an onside kick. And I can understand because the kickoff rules are the defender or the return team and the receiving team are only 5 yards apart. And so if you kick, you know, a 10-yard onside kick, the kicker can get it very easily. And it's at that point, it's too easy of a recovery. But what I would say then, if you're going to announce an onside kick, I would start maybe the receiving team and the defending team about 10 to 12 yards apart. And I would say your landing zone for the kicker has to be like the logo of the 50-yard line or something to make then everybody go after it. I think that would be more entertaining, and it'd probably be a little bit something where it's like now it's closer to a 50-50 rather than like 0.5%. Because Austin, you said 2% recovery. I think it's less than that. I think it's like 0.002% or something like that. It's stupid low. But I think if you make it to where, like, sure, you can announce it, but now, like, you have to be further apart. The kicker has to land in a certain zone, and then whoever recovers it first, then it's their ball or whatnot from the spot of it. And I feel like if you give the landing zone about the 50, whoever recovers it gets decent field position after recovering it, rather than like if you recover it at the 30-yard line, then you have to go all the way down the field. Or if you're the receiving team recovering it, you're not getting it on the opponent's 30 to then go on a shorter field. So I feel like that'd be the best happy medium. But I think the 4th and 13 is a little tough, because if you go on a long touchdown drive and then you do a 4th and 13 to get the ball back, that defense is still gassed, and it's probably more likely that you'll get the ball back again. So what's to stop teams from doing it multiple times instead of an onside kick to strengthen a lead, rather than like, oh yeah, we'll just kick it off and let you get your best shot at it now. So I think
there'll be rules, certain timing, certain scores. Like, you can't go up 7-0 in the first quarter after a 22-play drive and then go for a 4th and 13.
Well, I mean, in the onside kick realm, as long as you announce it, then it's okay. So I agree that there'll probably be some like stuff in between that stops that. But I'm just saying, like, on its face, if we didn't have that, what's to stop a team from doing that at the moment? But Austin, go ahead and wrap up the segment, and then we'll move on to League Recon.
One question. What about starting it like a dodgeball game? You pick one of your captains for the coin toss, put the ball on the 50. You both start on the 40.
Yeah.
At the whistle, you run, and whoever gets the ball, like a start of a dodgeball game. Whoever gets the ball at that point.
You just explained the original XFL kickoff rule from way back in 2001.
Way back in the day.
Yeah, which you know how many careers were ended off of that kickoff rule? But that would be pretty exciting. I guarantee some teams would have just one practice squad guy that just run down the field and come back. Oh, you're injured? Sorry, we'll get another guy. But
But what I want to point out with the special team segment is, Matt and I kind of the last quarter of the season really implemented the special team segment and everything. But I want to point out it's no surprise that two teams with great special teams and great defenses are in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. That just goes to show you don't just have to have offense. You can't just have a high-powered offense and expect the best. Like, here we are at the end of the year. No matter how you feel about their schedules, whether you call them frauds, whatever,
big time.
Two teams are here who have great special teams and who have great defenses. And it's no surprise. That's how important all three phases of a football team are.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a quick break from our sponsors, and we'll come back with League Recon, sponsored by Rival Code. So we'll be right back. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Emporia State Federal Credit Union. Learn more at esfcu.com. Text or call the number 620-342-2600. 623-2336 to get started today. ESFCU is the Shovix banking of choice, federally insured by the NCUA. This episode of West War Room Rivals is brought to you by JBW Solutions Industrial Safety Services, your remote safety partner no matter where work takes you. From the job site to the office, JBW Solutions brings OSHA 10 and 30 training, plus a full lineup of compliance services straight to your screen. Whether you're a small crew or a major operation, they make safety simple, accessible, and effective. Visit jbwsolutionsllc.com to learn more today and stay compliant wherever you are. West War Room Rivals is sponsored by Field Ops. Kansas sports fields just got an upgrade with Field Ops. Looking to reserve top quality sports fields in Kansas? Whether you're organizing youth tournaments, adult leagues, or weekend pickup games, Field Ops is your go-to platform for discovering and booking the best athletic fields across the state. Instant online reservations, detailed field info such as locations, amenities, and photos. Field Ops is also trusted by coaches, organizers, and athletes. From Wichita to Overland Park, Field Ops has got you covered with real-time availability and streamlined scheduling. Get in the game at gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. That's gofieldops.com/Kansas-KS. All right, guys, welcome back to West War Room Rivals. This episode is sponsored by Vidi Coffee, sponsored by Rival Codes. As you can see, Matt's shirt, use Rivals10 to get 10% off your merch. It's not just apparel, it is territory. And then, of course, Field Op Kansas, Troy and the crew, Angie with Emporia State Federal Credit Union, and Jeff with JBW Solutions as we are recording out of the JBW Solutions studios. If you guys are watching this right now on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, or on X, you guys can follow us on there as well. Drop your comments down below who your guys' predictions are for the Super Bowl, and we'll read them towards the end of the show. All right, guys, let's move on to League Recon, sponsored by Rival Codes. We got a couple of questions here that we'll get through. Some pretty big news in the world of the AFC West. Davis Webb has been officially named the OC of the Denver Broncos, or I guess promoted more or less. From the Broncos fans, Corey, I'll go with you first. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was saying from the start, once Sean fired Mike Lombardi, that it had to be Davis Webb or nobody. Mm-hmm. I know that the rumor was that Joe Brady was really close to becoming the new OC, but that was on the perks of Davis Webb possibly getting the Buffalo job. So either way, I think this is good news for the Broncos. You keep Davis Webb, who's familiar with Bo. Bo's familiar with Davis as far as that goes. And I still stand by, I think Sean Payton will at some point give the play calling duty and or offensive game plan over to Davis Webb at some point in the season.
Matt, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Bo Nix and Davis Webb, they have a great relationship with each other. They get along very well. And I really feel that if, Davis Webb turned down the head coaching job, I think he was one of the candidates for your Raiders, Cody, and other jobs. He turned down offensive coordinator jobs, head coaching jobs that would have given him play calling responsibilities. He wouldn't have turned them down if he wasn't going to get any kind of responsibility here in Denver. So I feel like, yeah, he's gonna really alter this offense.
Okay. Austin, I'm curious from your perspective, do you think this promotion for Davis Webb makes the Broncos a more dangerous team, or do you think that they're just going to remain the same? There's no difference. And so that means that they may not take the next step like they're hoping to.
No, I think this improves their odds of taking that next step. You keep someone who's familiar with Bo Nix and Sean Payton. We say it all the time of, this quarterback's in his sixth year and has like a 6 different offensive coordinator and system or whatever. It doesn't guarantee that they take the next step, but I think this greatly improves the odds of being able to, that you just have the familiar voices and people around your young quarterback still. So it doesn't hurt. I think that was best case scenario for Bo Nix individually and that offense as a whole. So I think it's a good thing for Denver.
Yeah. Caleb, what are your thoughts on Davis Webb being promoted?
So I actually really like this move for the Broncos. Joe Lombardi, no offense to the guy, he's just I've been through that experience as well, and it's just not, he just doesn't cut it. I know Sean Payton was pretty much calling the plays for the most part, but if you're there for 3 years as an OC, but you're not calling the plays, that's probably not a good sign. So I definitely think Davis Webb will be a huge step forward for them in that passing game, really, because I think he opens up the run game as well. So I'm actually excited for that move for the Broncos fans.
I think what I'm curious for is how much control Sean Payton gives. I know Corey and Matt, you guys talk about this on your lives all the time, that, Sean Payton may give Davis Webb like a script to like allow him to call a handful of plays, maybe allow him to formulate a game plan that gives him some play calling duties to prepare him for that. And I'm just curious on at what point does Sean Payton like stick with that, or does he take it back over fully? Because maybe, Davis Webb, again, first time in this type of a role, is Sean Payton going to allow him to like go through all the growing pains of that new position? So I'm actually curious though, and I'm hoping people can put this in their answers in the chat though, of the AFC West teams that have added a new coordinator. Of course, the Chargers with McDaniels, Bieniemy's returning to the Chiefs, and then Davis Webb being promoted. I'm curious, out of those three teams, which one is going to see the biggest improvement to their next season? So if everyone could just put that in the comments down below, that way we can read them off towards the end of the show. So next, the Raiders are set to hire Kubiak this week, or following this weekend, of course, depending on if he takes the job or not. It looks like it's all been confirmed. Even John Schneider of the Seahawks basically said, he's on his way to Las Vegas. Can't really officially hire him until after. I'll just give my initial thoughts. I'm glad that we found a coach that we wanted, stuck it through. He wanted the job, I feel like, is a big thing. Last season, it was a Ben Johnson sweepstakes where the Raiders were like keen on getting him. Obviously, we didn't get him at the end of it. So I feel like that this is a great get for the Raiders to bring some energy back to the locker room, bring it back to the fan base. And I'm curious to see what a young, innovative offense will do for our team and Tom Brady and John Spytek. I'm curious to see how that all plays out. One of the things I'm very apprehensive about, though, is the patience of Raider Nation and of ownership. Again, the Raiders have gone through 6 head coaches in 6 years. And I just am hoping that Kubiak gets more than just 2.5 years. He might ironically be the first head coach in the Raiders franchise that coaches more than 3 seasons. Because right now that's, I think, held by John Gruden. Of the last 30 years, John Gruden has coached 3 seasons where everyone else has only lasted a season and a half to 2 seasons. So that's my initial thought. I've heard some other rumblings about potential coaches that he might be bringing in, which is very exciting. Matt, you've disappeared on us, man. I don't know what's going on.
The sun is beating into the room right now. And if I close the blinds,
are you telling me the sun is bright?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Well, I shut the blinds and that happens, and then I disappear again. So
no Matt's there.
Just no Matt is there.
Matt is always with us.
Matt is trying to fix it. I'm sorry.
Okay. I was like, where'd you go, man?
No, well, because the sun, like I said, if I close the blinds, then like whatever settings the computer has, I don't know technology.
Okay.
It messes with it. It like adjusts the brightness. So I'm trying to mess with it so that you can see me.
I would explain it to you, but then everyone teases me about like, hey, I don't need to know all that. So
look, I just need the mild settings, right? We already have one of the settings. I need the mild one.
All right. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on the Raiders potential head coach. Corey, do you have any thoughts on Kubiak? Hopefully it's official being named the Raiders head coach.
Stop it. It's official. Stop. Just stop.
I've had my heart broken too many times. Until I see that press conference.
So here's what I'll say. Good hire. It sucks that Kubiak's going to be with the Raiders. Obviously his dad's a Bronco legend. So, but again, I've been pretty adamant with you, Cody, on yes, you get the head coaching pick, right? But now you got to see the staff. You got to see, let's not act like that roster's still not doggy do, right? So now you got to make sure you put a complete roster around him. And see, but it's a step in the right direction. As Matt said last night, back on the railroad tracks.
There we go. Matt, going to you. What are your initial thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, it's the Raiders are doing the right thing. They at least got the wheels on the right track. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of getting them moving. So I think it's a start. We'll see what happens. They still got a lot of work to do, and we'll see what happens.
All right, Caleb, what are your thoughts?
I actually like this improvement big time. I mean, it's hard not to improve when you have the guys that you had last year. No offense to Pete Carroll, he's 74 years old or whatever. Yeah, he's older, and then you have I don't know why my mom went
Chip
blank.
Kelly.
Yeah, Chip Kelly. Thank you. Oh my gosh, definitely a huge upgrade there. I agree. Literally, Matt put it and Corey both put it perfectly. In my opinion, they got the wheels on the track. Now they just got to get them moving. But that's what I think.
Hot take: Raiders finish better than the Chargers next year.
Ooh. I like that.
Ooh. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Like that, delete that. Just kidding.
No, I'm totally
I'm
clipping
gonna
that. I'm clipping that tonight for sure.
Hell yeah.
Austin, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good hire, but the Raiders in the end are still going to suck for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like Corey said it perfectly. Like that roster and everything else about it is still not good, but this is a good first step of getting the hire correct. You went from a coach that was like 74 and an OC that was 62 to I think now the rumored OC and Kubiak are supposed to be a combined age of like 75.
Right.
So like the same age as Carroll. So I think it was a good hire. There's still so much that the Raiders need to even be relevant. It would be wild to just assume a Mike Vrabel type turnaround because this roster is not set up the same.
Right.
But it is a good start.
Yeah. I also do want to point out, I'd be remiss if I didn't include this. Of course, we've had this whole week of Max Crosby drama. Drake Glazer reported, which I did a live with Corey about, where, it looks like he doesn't want to be back with the Raiders. And then I think it was Adam Scheffler that reported that the Raiders have no intention on trading him. And then Max himself on another podcast had said that he's shutting down rumors, like he's not saying nothing. And so there's
there's still so much part of the Raiders that is just a mess.
This is one of the things that makes it frustrating this offseason and I'm seeing like this, like the shift one way or the other. Like we're 1 minute, like we're all like, yeah, we got to do right by Max and send him somewhere that he can go win. And then now it's like, oh, let's go. Max is saying that he's, doesn't want to leave the Raiders. And it's like, you guys, I don't think Max Crosby, I mean, I'm sure he loves the Raiders, but business is business. If he is hearing that he can go somewhere to compete for a championship and the Raiders feel like they can get back compensation, a deal will probably be had. If I'm not mistaken, Max Crosby does not have a no trade clause. But I guess what I'm indifferent about, this happens every offseason with the Raiders, of some player, something going on to where we have more negative news about who doesn't want to be on the team, what locker room tiff we have going on, rather than like we have a positive thing going on with Kubiak potentially, making it official. And then we still have this Max Crosby drama. So I'm hoping that after this weekend, we actually, to everyone's credit, we're putting the wheels on the track. We're going to move in the right direction, not backwards, not fall off the tracks again. And then that way we can be an actual organization, like a functioning football team. Because it's kind of getting silly that it's like, oh, this player wants to leave. Oh no, now they don't want to leave. It's like, I need Raiders to like figure their shit out. So
they won't. Again, I know that Raider fans, I did see a bunch of Raider fans who are like, well, you heard it from Max here first. I promise you guys, if Max gets if the right move happens,
right,
Max would absolutely leave in a heartbeat. So,
and again, I gotta be honest, like if John Spytek gets a deal, like I think the rumor is if we get like a Micah Parsons type of deal, it'll probably go through, which is a very legitimate possibility. And, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Max would ultimately love to stay with the Raiders and it work out. I don't even think he wants to leave, but the NFL is also a business. And I think he understands that, to like, even though he's saying, I don't want to leave the Raiders, if there's something that presents itself on the table that benefits him to be a contender, and then also the Raiders get 2 first rounds or whatever the bevy of picks that they might get, I have a feeling like all parties are going to say, yeah, it's been a good run. Let's just make this happen. So I'm just seeing like on Raiders Twitter, I'm seeing on Instagram, a lot of people are like, oh, Max actually doesn't want to go. Max does want to go. It's just this constant like turmoil, and just, I think someone put it in the comments right now. Raider Trav said that's the Raider way. And I couldn't agree more.
Denver
Trav, excuse me, said that's the Raiders way. And I was like,
Leave some
Yes.
respect on his name.
I would say he's about to dispatch the police to your apartment right now.
I will say this is the most Super Bowl Sunday action Raiders have ever gotten.
That's it always happens, but just never in the big dance. So, all right, let's move on to the next one because I don't want to crash out on Super Bowl Sunday. It's actually a good day. I'm trying to keep my emotions in. It was an emotional night last night. All right. Chargers also hired a new defensive coordinator. Caleb, take over. Who's your new DC and where did he come from?
I'm actually really excited for this. It's Chris O'Leary is his name. He was the Chargers safeties coach 2 years ago. Last year he had his first secondary or defensive coordinator job, and it was with with Western Michigan. So, and I will say he did coach. We had one of the better secondaries the year he was there. We were the #1 scoring defense that year. So I'm hoping we see a step forward. We'll have to see what pieces we get and that kind of thing. But I'm really excited for this move. I think it, as far as replacing Jesse Minter, that is hard shoes to fill. That's no knock on Jesse Minter at all. He is incredible. We will miss him big time, but I hope we take a step forward, but really it depends on the pieces we get from here, in my opinion.
It's going to be so funny seeing Jesse Minter win a playoff game before Justin Herbert.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
He did go from Herbert to Lamar, though.
I mean, that's a pretty big upgrade for sure.
Not in the playoffs. That's like equals in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, Lamar does have a playoff victory, though.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he's got a couple. Yeah, I think he's got like 3, if I'm not mistaken.
What up, though?
Well, no. The Chiefs have his number, but more than the Chargers, unfortunately. Caleb, in your honest opinion, though, do you think that your defense will take a step back, or do you think this is going to make them a Super Bowl caliber defense?
I think certain areas of our defense we take a step forward, and then certain areas we take a step back. I think our secondary does take a step forward, but I think our pass rush kind of takes a step back, personally.
Okay.
But I guess that's my opinion on that.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Well, you're more in the Chargers. You're more in the Chargers know than we are for sure. So you're the one to tell us if this is good or not. So I don't know. So
I like it as far as like the options we had. I like it just because familiarity with the team and that kind of thing. Sure. That's the only reason I really like this move.
Show off, Caleb.
You almost got Jonathan Gannon. You guys could have gotten him. He was available.
Oh yeah, I would have loved that. Oh yeah.
All right, fellas, does this new hire scare any of you guys in the AFC West?
No.
Zero.
All right.
And honestly, I'm going to be upfront with you guys. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this offseason works because, the two absolute complete opposites of Jim Harbaugh and Mike McDaniel. I'm really curious to see, and I'm not going to sit here and say that it's going to be trouble in paradise, but I am going to be real curious to see how those two different personalities kind of mesh with one another. Stay tuned, I suppose. But yeah, no, this move doesn't. The Raiders getting Kubiak almost scares me more than what the Chargers have done.
Okay, I'm going to take that on a limb. The Raiders getting Kubiak does scare me more than this new DC for the Chargers. There's a complete unknown with him, and who knows what's going to happen. But I have way too much respect for Minter to think it comes in and and he's going to be the same. I respect Minter even when he was with the Chargers. He was always one of my favorite coordinators in the league. So it's nothing, and not a shot against the new one. But I have way too much respect for Minter to think that things are just going to smooth transition and be equally as good or better. Again, it's possible, but my respect for Minter won't allow me to say that right now.
All right.
Yeah.
And Caleb, I'm not just saying that to say that, buddy.
That was an honest take, actually.
Yeah.
From
No, I know. Yeah, no, I know. I get that. I mean, Kubiak's proved what he can do. So, I mean, I get that take completely. They're in the Super Bowl right now. So, obviously, he has not coached a Super Bowl caliber defense yet. So, no, I get the take completely. Completely get it.
Yeah, Kubiak's also gotten Derek Carr thinking about coming out of retirement. So that's how excited stupid
No,
excited
it's not
Raider
his
Nation is.
time to join
He's
his
not.
coaching staff.
He's not. He's absolutely not. But
He
I
would
was
join
just
the coaching staff before coming out of retirement, though.
yeah, a glorified quarterback coach is essentially what's going to happen. But
Him and
anyways,
Fernando, man.
I think that would be a great
Him and
hire.
Fernando, like he would be a great mentor for Fernando.
it would be good. I'm not trying to dismiss Derek Carr. Like he's got to have his jersey retired at the Raiders for guaranteed. I just think it's funny now where it's like, okay, he's got to come back in some limited. Again, it's additional reporting that I find funny in this offseason. It's given me the same like Phillip Rivers vibes. Not that Derek Carr's of that age. It's just like, oh, Derek Carr now might come back and mentor Fernando. And it's like, okay, that's awesome. But what was the whole retirement thing? Because the logistics of it is like we'd have to give up a draft pick to get him from the Saints. And I don't know, maybe the Saints are going to now play hardball. And again, it's just additional reporting. I think it's just a lot of white noise, but
Really hope Geno's still the week 1 starter next year, and I hope Denver's playing Raiders week 1.
I'd be surprised if he's on the roster on week 1, to be honest. So I think he doesn't want to be a Raider anymore. So, all right, let's move. Yeah, let's move on to the last question here. Kliff Kingsbury is hired as the new OC for the LA Rams.
Not OC. Not OC. He's just a quality, like he's an offensive analyst.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was seeing reports of OC.
That's my fault for not putting that in there.
No.
but
Okay, so let me get this straight. He is a offensive quality coach.
Just something with like a son of a gun. I can't remember the name.
It's a quality control analyst.
But it's for like the offensive side of the ball. I mean,
It's him and McVay basically putting their heads together for an offense. Like everything's still going to be McVay and play calling McVay, but you have Kliff Kingsbury to lean on.
Okay,
it's not fair. That's two of the better offensive minds in the league.
I didn't know Kliff Kingsbury coaches defense.
What?
This has nothing to do with defense.
No, I know, but like, wasn't their defense a majority of the reason why they couldn't really get to the Super Bowl? I mean, they got very close. I'm not trying to say that
still improve your offense.
You can still improve your offense, and I think from the like what you're maybe saying is like the defensive side. Kliff can still help with that and say, here's what I see with some of these defenses. Here's what, when we played them, here's what we did and what we, and whatnot. But I still think, the Rams do have stuff that they need to work on as far as what that goes. And it's a weird hire to me, but at the same time, why not put two of the best offensive minds together that, does this make the Rams all of a sudden Super Bowl contenders? Absolutely not. 0% on that. But it never hurts. And if you're going to be drafting a young quarterback in the first round to be a successor to Matt Stafford, why not let Kliff Kingsbury work with this kid off to the side, getting him ready while, McVay's doing one thing with the other. So I'm seeing Ty Simpson's name pop up with the Rams. Why not pair him up with Kliff Kingsbury during the season and let those guys go to work for next season when he retires?
Yeah, I guess I'm not trying to say that Kingsbury's not a good offensive coach. I mean, he did a really good job with Jaden Daniels in Washington his first year there. I think with the type of coach it is, if it is like a quality whatever coach, it's like, okay, that's awesome. But, what is the team going to do defensively to elevate them to get them to the next step that doesn't have them falling off week 8, I think is the question. So.
But Matt's got the Broncos future on his webcam. It's real bright.
Bro, I don't know what is going on with this, man. Like, it keeps adjusting.
I'm trying not to like focus on it, but I can't help
you go
bright and dark, right?
It's dark and mild,
Yeah.
Just know Matt's always there. Whether you can see him or not, he's there.
Yeah, he's always with us. All right, guys, that was our League Recon segment sponsored by Rival Codes. Visit rivalscodes.com to get your merch today. Use Rivals10 to get 10% off your order. As you can see, Matt, when his screen is not bright or too dark, you can see his shirt. And again, it's not just apparel, it is territory. So let's move on to the Videye sponsored segment, Brew Take, Videye Coffee. Let me get the little shot there. There we go. Go to Amazon to get your Videye Coffee or go to videyecoffee.com to get your supply today as the official coffee sponsor of the War Room. So each host is going to give us a brewed take for this Super Bowl weekend. Corey, I'm going to start with you. What's your brewed take?
Patriot fans, cover your ears. Drake May's going to get sacked 5 times, and he's going to throw 4 interceptions today against the Seahawks.
Ooh.
I think that lets us know he's picking.
Matt, do you want to give a brewed take right now? You guys
not.
Brood take. I'm never gonna figure this thing out.
Okay.
I'm gonna say each team has a punt return for a touchdown.
Ooh.
Okay. I like that. All right, Caleb.
Oh man, I'm gonna say Christian Gonzalez has 2 picks.
Nice. All right, Austin.
Well, I thought our hot take was after our prediction. So this is definitely going to give it away for me. The Seahawks defense scores more points than the Patriots offense.
The defense scores more points than the offense.
Damn.
The Seahawks defense will score more points than the Patriots offense.
Well, I mean, the Patriots can still win if their defense also has defensive touchdowns on top of the
That's
offensive
true.
ones. So
That's true.
So, I mean, not to say that you were going to pick a certain team or not, but that's a way how, you can negate that. I'm going to say that both defenses will give up 400 plus yards. I feel like it's going to be a shootout. Yeah. It's going to be a shootout kind of a game today.
That's definitely a very Brood take.
Matt, your future is very bright.
Yeah, I know. Unlike my skin complexion, it's very bright. Also, Corey, Mama Williams says you're off the Christmas list.
I saw that. And that's why I said cover your ears, guys. Come on. I at least gave you a heads up. Golly.
Why didn't she cover her ears? That's on her.
Earmuffs.
All right, guys. So that Brew Take segment was sponsored by Vidite Coffee. Go to viditecoffee.com today to get your coffee, which is the official coffee of the War Room. Gentlemen, let's talk season 2. Our theme for season 2 is #BeAFan. And again, kind of one of the opening questions that we had where we talked about our fandom. We want you guys to also be a fan. So Corey, I'm going to give the floor to you to just describe what season 2 has entailed with the themes around being a fan.
Yeah, and again, I'm not sure how this even became a thing when I said it the one time on a live, but then I started thinking about it more, and I'm like, yes, we're the West War Room rivals. Yes, we talk mostly about the Broncos, Chargers, and Chiefs. Yes, we do a lot of other football talks, and yes, I skipped the Raiders on that for a reason. But again, this is meant to be, we want all fan bases, and we've seen a lot of this on our TikTok lives, whether it's Matt doing one, any of us doing one. Come in. We want you to be a fan, give your hot takes. We're not going to judge your hot takes. As you guys see, those of you that join us on TikTok live, you notice that we try to be engaging. We try to talk with everybody. Even the silly ones that are just like, well, that's questionable, but we want season 2 to be all about the hot takes from you guys as you're a fan of your team. So no take's a bad take within reason, because there are those out there that just say things to say things, but
those are trolls.
Don't
be a troll, be a fan.
That's right.
It's not #be a troll. It's #be a fan. So stick with what stick with your guns, essentially. Like, like this one, Bo Nix for MVP, hot take in 2026. I don't think it's a hot take, just in simple fact, I think Bo Nix will be an MVP next year. So again, talk your shit, and stand by it. Be a fan of your team, and we want all fan bases on our show.
Mm-hmm. Caleb, I'm going to ask you this question. So season 2, this is going to be your first full off season with us, full regular season. Obviously you're having part of a regular season with us in season 1. So now you get to experience a full season with the War Room. What are you most excited about for season 2?
Oh, dude, where do I even start? I guess I'm the first things first. I'm excited for free agency, man. That's the first real big thing of the off season. So I'm super excited what we get into there. And then obviously we have the draft to look ahead to, and schedule releases, and, there's all kinds of stuff, man. So I guess to answer that with one answer, I'll say free agency to start, I guess. And then we'll move on from there. Take it one thing at a time, unlike a lot of my team's fans. But yeah.
I am looking forward to having free agency talk with you and the schedule release. That one was fun when we did the schedule release. That was a lot of great hot takes. And so I'm excited for that for you. But Matt,
didn't Austin say that the Raiders were going to win 13 games in that hot take when the schedule came out?
No.
Was that the one?
No, I said Raiders were going to win 9 games and finish ahead of the Chargers.
I can't remember if you said that, but I know Corey said that they would finish better than the Chargers. Or Austin did. I think that was his AFC West hot take, but You guys can redeem yourself this upcoming offseason. It's totally fine. Matt, what are you most excited about for season 2?
I'm with Caleb. I love free agency. That's probably one of the more exciting things of the offseason is free agency. Like, who's going to make the biggest splash, trying to figure out who's going to go where, who gets re-signed. And, that's always fun for me. I really dive into free agency. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to not going Super Saiyan with the webcam, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Purchasing some curtains.
Yeah, that's what
the blinds aren't working. These are navy blinds, by the way. They fall apart the moment you look at them. Look, watch this. See?
Oh, great. Now you got to fix it.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
Austin, what are you most excited about for season 2?
Yeah, honestly, to just continue building the little community that we've kind of grown largely on TikTok. I'm going to forget names, so don't take it personally. But, like Drewski and Brody and Kate and Katie, Nacho Fries, like the little community we're starting to build on TikTok, and like just continue to like grow that, interact with them still. Again, with the Be a Fan, just excited to grow that with more fans. Mm-hmm. I guess Chiefs have a top 10 pick. I'm going to say it's been a while since I've really cared about free agency or draft, but this year might be a little different. But no, I'm just most excited to just continue growing the community. Like, we got awesome little regulars, or OGs as they call themselves, that follow, and just excited to continue growing that and see where it goes.
I think there's several things I'm super excited for season 2. I mean, and again, I think it's more behind the scenes. And I even mentioned this. I think, Corey, you had this question for us, like one of our first episodes, about what are we looking for this upcoming season, talking currently. And I was just saying about the behind the scenes work that we all were doing, and the guests that Austin and Matt had kind of lined up early on. And now as we're at the end of season 1, which, by the way, it flew by so fast. And then today is going to be the last day of season 1. Tomorrow starts season 2, and we already have a full guest list for the rest of February, and looking like we're going to be touching March really quickly. And what we've kind of collaborated with and talked about for season 2 on a level of like, how do we want to cover the NFL? How do we want to cover fan bases? The social media work that you guys have committed to do, like TikTok lives, to bring in some of those communities, like Brody with Bear Down, and Drewski here with Bill's Mafia, and Kate last night, or the other night, I think it was, with the TikTok live that joined Matt and Corey to talk a little bit about, the Patriots matchup in the Super Bowl, which was great. And we want to do more of that in season 2. And, again, like all the things that we've kind of created and envisioned for season 2, I feel like is going to be what I want the viewers to like really enjoy. So I think that's what I'm most excited about, is all the things that we have planned. And once we kind of like show that in the clips, the graphics, the guests that we are talking to right now, and some big ones that we're hoping to get, in the springtime, like towards the start of the the draft kind of component of it. So I'm very, very excited for that part of it, to just see like how much further we can go. Like when we started this, when the Shovik's brainchild had this, we were kind of flying off the seat of our pants. And now it feels like we kind of have an idea of a direction or a lane that we're trying to stay in. And now with like a lot of intentional tunnel vision for that, I'm very curious to see like where this show goes from that point. So that's what I'm excited about for season 2.
Well, and I think, and I mentioned it last night in our group text after we did I think it was after mine, because I don't know if Matt had gone live yet, but about the community that we have built on TikTok. And, the biggest thing you guys can do to help us is to continue to share this show out with everybody. And that includes on TikTok, because we've had a number of people who come onto our lives that are like, oh my gosh, you guys actually answer our questions. You guys actually interact with us. You guys don't really take the bias stuff. So it's just one of those where we do try to interact with people, because we hope there's a time where the comments and questions are coming in so fast that, we're skipping some stuff, and we'll always remember that small community that's been with us from the start. But the biggest thing that you guys can continue to do for us is to continue to get new people on our show, new fans, just, let them know what we're about and what we do. And we'll continue to do things the right way that we've been doing this whole season. And that's interacting with as many people as we can, continuing to make fun of Cody and the Raiders. So again, we're very excited. Tomorrow's the start of season 2, and it's going to start off with the bang, because Cody's going to have a coach report probably that he's going to have to start diving into when the Raiders hire Kliff Kingsbury. So again, there's not really much of a break, because again, combine's in 2 weeks. So while Matt and some of these other guys aren't big on the college football, we are. So we're going to be able to dive into some of the draft boards, some of the team needs. We all know what our teams need. So Cody can say, hey, I know here's what the Raiders are looking for. Give me some names, and we can do that for them. So again, it's going to be a little more calculated what we do and how we do it. But at the end of the day, it's all about the interactions with the fans and with you guys and with our followers. So again, thank you guys, and just continue to share this stuff out.
Absolutely. Also, we want to try to get this hashtag out as often in season 2 as possible. Hashtag be a fan. So please make sure you share that anytime that we're on TikTok Live. Share that. We'll try to post it as often as we can. So that way we want to continue that theme. Be a fan. And again, as Corey said, as wild as your take is, within reason, don't troll, but be a fan. Stand on it and, be a fan of your team or whatever fandom that you love to represent. All right, guys, I think it's time to get to game day predictions, sponsored by JBW Solutions. Again, thank you to Jeff, who is watching right now, along with Kim, who is Matt's mom, who is hoping that her Patriots win the Super Bowl today.
So war room mom, not just Matt's.
Well, we've got a couple of war room moms, Mama Shovik and Mama Williams. Yeah, so we won't be worrying about that. Anyways, let's get into the JBW Solutions sponsored segment, game predictions for Super Bowl 60. Caleb, kick us off. Who do you have, and who will be the Super Bowl MVP?
Oof. So I'm still torn on this game, but I guess I'll make a prediction. I'll probably change it in my head like 10 times, but I'll say the Seahawks win this game. I think it's really close. I think it's probably 34-31. And I think that Sam Darnold wins Super Bowl MVP.
Nice. All right. Corey, who do you have?
Yeah, it's been pretty set for me all week, even though I told everybody I didn't know. I've known since Broncos lost it was going to be the Seahawks, and it's going to be the Seahawks 24-10. Rashid Shaheed's going to be the Super Bowl MVP because he's going to have 2 kick returns for a touchdown, and that's why he will be the MVP.
Damn. All right, Austin?
Yeah, I've actually been pretty torn on it too. I think on paper, the Seahawks have just more talent, just across the board. A little more, maybe not Super Bowl experience, but just experience in general. I do like the Patriots coaching staff a little bit more, but I don't think they make up the difference. So I do think Seahawks win this game 34-17. And I do think the Super Bowl MVP is Nick Eamon-Wari.
Nice.
I told you all he was going to go defense. He was like number 3 on my list of who I thought you may go with, though.
Well, again, I hope people aren't surprised. He's the defensive guy. Literally has Austin's aerial report about defense. If you thought he wasn't going to choose defense, you're not watching the show. So
yeah, I went between him and DeMarcus Lawrence.
Ooh, yeah.
But I think that Eamon-Wari he stuffs the stat sheet a little bit more with tackles, sacks, interceptions. I think he's one of them that gets a touchdown. So I think he's just going to stuff the stat sheet a little bit more than DeMarcus Lawrence.
All right. Matt, who do you got?
Oh, man. I know I'm gonna go for the Patriots. I will go for the Patriots. However, the Seahawks are gonna win this game, and I got JSN as Super Bowl MVP.
Okay.
Way to play both sides of the fence, dude.
Well, he's got to go home eventually.
Me,
yeah.
Right?
Stand on it. We were just talking about stand on it, bro, and you're just literally you're on the fence like waddling.
I will rage bait any troll. I will call anyone you want Professor Dickweed. However, my mom is a very good cook, and I do not want to ruin that. So therefore,
that's fair. That's fair. You bring food into it. I get it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also want my pick almost when you bring in food.
Right. Did everyone pick the Seahawks?
I don't remember. You're going to have to make your pick.
Oh, shit.
Oh, this one really separates the boys from the men, huh?
One of my favorite bands.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks. And I'm going to go with JSN Super Bowl MVP. I think it's going to be 37-33 Seahawks. And I said both defenses will give up over 400 yards each, and I think it's because it's going to be a shootout.
We all
And
picked the Seahawks.
We did, which means the Patriots are probably going to win. Shit.
Nah.
But I know this. Like, if I had picked the Patriots to win, they would have gotten mad at me. Like, oh, you picked every time you pick them to win, they lose.
Matt's like, I'm just trying to secure my dinner. Okay, like that's how I'm trying to take this.
All right, let's get to some of these comments before we close out the show. I promised you guys we'd read your comments during the show. Let me fix the screen
We still
a little
have a
bit
prize
here.
giveaway, Cody.
Do we? Oh,
We
that's
do.
right.
Yeah, that's right.
It's in
We
the
do.
notes.
All right, let's get some comments in
I
here.
think we have to pick the winner.
We're gonna see who comments the best, and we'll.
Okay, so we'll go through comments and pick the best comments.
All right,
Mom's
Mama
not-
Shovik said that she thinks the Chargers will be the biggest improvement with McDaniels, but will still choke because they're the Chargers. So
Facts. I don't see any lies.
no lies.
And my
told.
mom doesn't really know ball, so that's saying something.
That's rough. Drewski says, I think the Chargers really improving with their offense. Okay. And then Mama Shovik again, Raiders will still suck. Good hire, though.
Look for this
Awesome.
giveaway.
Love it. Talking about right away with the off-season dysfunction that we've been having. Let's see. You know what, Denver Trav? You're now Raider Trav to me. That's what that means.
Uh-oh.
And then Drewski reporting, and again, we talked about this right before we recorded that James Pierce Jr. was arrested, I think reportedly for domestic disturbance or violence, I think.
Stalking and everything.
Not a good situation.
Yeah.
No bueno.
Domestic battery and
Quick PSA for anyone
Fleeing.
watching, don't do that. Just
Don't do that.
don't
Do not do
stalk
that.
people. Do not beat people. Just
And don't stop believing.
Hell yeah.
be a fan.
Be a fan.
right. That was a great
It's
one.
not a him.
Just not.
Drewski, I think this is him talking about Max Crosby. The Raiders will give him away for the right price. I unfortunately agree with that. Probably will happen. Brody here. What do we think about Press Taylor hire? Someone fill me in on who Press Taylor is.
He's the new OC of the Bears. That means zero. That's Zach Taylor's brother. But that has no bearing on anything. Ben Johnson's your offense coordinator. Ben Johnson is everything that offense does. Press Taylor's just a name because you technically got to have an offense coordinator, I believe. So
Yeah.
Press Taylor is going to be the Lombardi of the Bears. So.
Essentially. And he,
No bearing for the Bears,
Matt, where'd you go? It's so bright over there for you.
just like my future.
hell yeah. But yeah,
The War Room's future.
don't look too far into Press Taylor.
Yeah.
All right. And then Drewski with another hot take. He does not think the Ravens will make the playoffs again. And I think he's referring to under Jesse Mentor as their new head coach. So that's a pretty hot take. Do we agree with that?
No,
Not at all.
All right. Still love you, Drewski, but
we still
guys said
do.
no.
Yeah.
Debatable.
All right. And Jeff, shout out. He is he is obviously our main sponsor, JBW Solutions. Thanks for hanging out with us, Jeff. Hope we're doing well. Yeah, man, we're doing great, especially with your support and all that we have planned. I think you'll be excited. And then, hi,
Fry.
Corey. It's Nacho Fry.
Oh, hi.
Say what up. Drewski's brewed take is that Drake May will fumble once and Darnold will throw a pick once. So he's predicting a turnover.
Fair.
All right, Corey, you're off the Christmas list. Just FYI.
For what?
Huh?
What did I
You-
do?
You
Should've
know,
never been on the
you
list.
know.
He shouldn't have been on the list.
Dang.
Denver Trev, Bo Nix, MVP next season. Okay.
Hell yeah.
All right. Yep, there we go. Don't
Be a
back
fan.
down. Stand by your team. Be a fan. Mama Shovik with great words. And then, of course, Jeff with In a World Full of Trolls. Be a fan. That's a great one.
I do like that one.
Bear
Bear
down.
Ooh,
So
I
here's
like
what I
that.
want to do now, real quick. We got some time, and what I want people to do is those of you who've been watching for the whole season, and or you've been on our TikTok lives, I want you guys to give your favorite moments of the War Room. Like, what is something that stood out? Whether it was a special guest that we've had, whether it's been segments that we've done. I want to know what you guys thought of as the favorite, best moment of the first season of War Room Rivals, and if it's a good enough answer, we may select you to win a Westy Bestie t-shirt.
There we go.
And other merch, whatever merch.
Yeah, we'll let you pick your merch.
I just uploaded the new Westy Bestie for season 2. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, you guys will if you guys win.
Yeah, that was a good question, Brody.
That was a good question.
That was a good question.
We took off on IG on that one, huh?
Yeah,
It's up to over 11,000 views right now.
I still okay, but Drewski's favorite moment definitely goated in for us.
Yeah.
Favorite moment.
I
Yeah.
do
Bro,
remember that.
hey, that is one of the rules on the live. If you come at me and you say something dumb, I'm going to reply with something dumb. So,
Well, and I think what was terrible is, I mean, and again, not to speak for the creator that jumped on that live, but he was talking real bold and then literally MIA immediately following the game.
Hardcore MIA.
You know, and
I
then-
was in the comments and I told him to chill out. I'm like, dude, chill out. Like
Yeah.
you're talking
Well-
too soon.
yeah,
And-
don't you get Ned Flanders started.
yeah, for real.
Don't get me riled up.
Dang nabbit. So in Corey, after the Broncos lost, unfortunately, he jumped on alive as probably as pissed as he was, stood on business, said, "Hey guys, I'm here. Let me have it." You know, Patriots. I think some of them were pretty kind, but more than that Herbert season dude or whatever, still missing in action. So
It was one of those who tried to say you didn't go live after the game. It's like, no, I was. It's not
You weren't there.
my fault you weren't there, but
yeah,
I kept my end of the bargain as far as that goes. But yeah, no, it's been the TikTok lives have kind of opened up a lot of new things, and it's kind of weird and different at times.
They definitely have some
Brody-
videos to come out.
Brody even brought up Luciano, who just
The Texans, yeah.
yeah, that debate me. Nobody wants to debate me, and I'm like, yeah, because your team sucks. Like, what do you want?
Did he show back up after that embarrassing performance by Stroud?
No.
Has he been MIA?
He has been,
Nope, MIA.
as most are, and I get it. I mean, it's not for everybody.
See, they aren't standing on business.
they're not. A couple
Not
more
at-
comments here. Drewski predicts Seattle's going to win. Darnold will win MVP. Boo, Caleb. Go Pats.
Oh yeah, boo.
I'm sorry, Mama Williams. I literally thought about saying it. Honestly, Carl Pickens and Derek Johnson almost changed my mind. They really did.
Just to let everyone know, they both picked the Patriots today.
They
So
both did.
Damn. Yeah, Stidham is a Super Bowl MVP for that. That
Yeah.
hurt.
Move on, Jeff.
Oh man.
all right.
Thanks for your report.
Let's give the shirt to Drewski.
I like Drewski because I like the back and forth. The back and forth between Herbert season and
Mama Shovik here. Carl Pickens' first interview with y'all and Austin's face on DJ. Yeah, that was a good one. And Caleb's first time, his cheeks were so red. And all of y'all with Dick Vermeil. Oh, yeah. I still remember the first morning that we met him because I think, Matt, our time to record that day was 7 a.m. And I remember I was so flipping nervous. I couldn't sleep that night and I was stuttering through the intro. Oh my gosh. What a wild start to the year. But it was great. One of my favorite memories of talking to Coach Vermeil.
yeah, we
you
got the
showed up in
bottle
your
of
little
Vermeil.
3-piece suit ready for work, and
You
here I
did.
am with like my
Well-
little PJs on.
Well, I had to go to work immediately after that, but no one could tell me shit after that. I just talked to a Hall of Fame head coach. I'm untouchable right now.
I mean, that's fair. And then DJ's response to your question about the Chicago boys.
Man, he loved Thomas Jones.
He did love
Yeah.
Thomas Jones. I do remember that.
And he
And-
said great things about Cedric Benson too, that he was a man amongst boys at his time in Texas. So,
The Texas days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, guys, do we have anything else before we get going to game day?
Super Bowl's only a couple hours away, folks.
Drewski, DM one of us. You are going to get your choice of merch from the War Room. So, Drewski, make sure you DM somebody so we can get your info. Yeah, we are a couple hours away from the Super Bowl. It is 3:19 here. So 5:30, that's 2 hours away. So
All right, guys.
again, always looking forward to the Super Bowl time.
That's right. Also, don't forget to catch the War Room live on TikTok, post-game reactions. So if you're not following, go follow and subscribe to the War Room. We will see you guys on Tuesday for Alex Moulton, right?
Molden.
Bolden. What?
Molden.
Molden.
I'm sorry. I'm
Caleb,
hearing
please.
Bolden.
Caleb, talk to us about your guest Tuesday.
Yeah, so I'm super excited. We have Alex Molden coming on. He's a former Saint, former Charger, had a little time with the Lions, and his son currently plays for the Chargers, and his other son is a 4-star recruit right now. He's down to like 5 schools.
So looking forward to talking with him and hearing his thoughts on the Chargers and as well as other teams too, as he's played on other teams. So yeah, super excited for that.
Awesome. Catch that on Tuesday, which will be the 11th. Well, hold on. The 10th. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't have my calendar up. But anyways, we'll catch you guys there. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys post Super Bowl.